So if you want to know what it's like to film with Ghost Adventures, then this is the video for you. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shanclen Shadow Productions. Now, for this video, I'll put a little disclaimer out there that I don't know these guys like personally on a best friend level or anything like that. I'm just going to be speaking about my experience on the 2 times I've actually filmed with Ghost Adventures. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. So all the rumors out there are true. I gotta say, you know, I had a really horrible experience and everything. I'm just kidding. No, no. I gotta say, I've worked with a lot of teams in the paranormal field over the many years I've been investigating and everything. And I have to say, Ghost Adventures by far is one of those groups that are very, very professional in what they do, as far as for what they want, how they want to do things, and being respectful at the same time. Now, I've also met other paranormal groups out there that are very, very disrespectful. They don't really care about anything else but themselves and everything. So yeah, I've met the bad ones and I've met the good ones. And I have to say that Zach and those guys by far from are high up there, as well as with Colin Brown too. Those two are the ones that are the collaborations I really look back on. And I really thank them for being so awesome and respectful for how we investigate and how we communicate with spirits. Now, filming with Ghost Adventures, I was on one of their latest episodes that came out. How long is it? Like 2 weeks now. Jeez. 2 weeks ago, I was on the Skinwalker Invasion video, and then also I was on their season 24, episode 7. I believe it was Disturbed in Wickenburg. Now, the first episode I did in Disturbed in Wickenburg, I didn't get like a lot of screen time. I was there. You see me in the background and everything, but yeah, it was honestly just really cool to be a part of the whole experience of it and just how Zach and his crew run things. It's not like a huge production. I've been on an investigation with a huge production where there's like 70 to like 100 people on set. You know, Zach runs a really, I guess you can say, a really tight-knit group of people he trusts and friends and everything, and they just love what they do, you know. And yeah, it's TV, everybody, come on, everything's not gonna be 100% like accurate or proof or whatever, you know. Zach himself and everybody else is still learning how to navigate the paranormal. And one thing I love is after all these seasons and everything, all these episodes that he's done, him and the crew still have that excitement to be able to communicate with spirits and, you know, see what they can do. And I have to say, I would imagine it's probably one of the coolest jobs to have out there. So this video was filmed back in November. So if you guys remember, I put out a video on my channel. It was when visiting indigenous lands. And so I went off and did a little bit of vlogging and made an episode out of it myself too. While I was there, I was just like, hey, you know, I've never been out to this location. It's a really nice sacred area. I might as well make a video of it myself and everything. So but yeah, like being able to set up and be called upon by Zak Bagans and the crew. You know, they called me out there because I guess they were having some skinwalker activity at a local ranch, and that's pretty much all I was told. And they're like, can you meet over here at this location at this certain time? I was like, cool, yeah, I'll do it. So only thing was, this location was like in the middle of nowhere, and to be able to get there was pretty far. And my electrical pony took a little while, but it got there. Yeah, a lot of animals on the road, pretty dangerous and everything, but I made it. And that's the main point. So for all of you out there that kind of watched the episode and everything, yes, there was more to it. And, you know, it's from a filmmaker's point of view and everything, it's as far as like, it's different when you film with a TV show rather than YouTubers and everything, because when you're doing a TV show, especially with Zach and how he does his episodes, there's a story behind it. There's a narrative that kind of goes with it to be able to keep up the creep factor and everything. And it's funny because there were some scenes that were taken out of us laughing and kind of just having fun and everything like that. But that if you were to input that in there, it would kind of ruin, you know, the suspense of the whole thing. And makes sense, you know. So when we went out to this investigation, they told me I got there. They picked me up from my hotel, brought me to the location and everything. I saw Zach and I saw the crew and everything. You saw Aaron, you know, saw Jay. Billy wasn't there for the Disturbed in Wickenburg video, and I saw Jeff Conkle, and then everybody else, everyone from behind the scenes that was there in Wickenburg. And it was awesome because like when I was there, I was met with happiness and smiles and hugs and fist pumps and everything. You know, they all remembered me from that investigation, and you know, just that right there, you know, you feel the buzzing happiness, you feel the buzzing excitement for an episode and everything. Like these guys are living their dream job to be able to, you know, go out there and make some really cool, interesting content. And that right there is like the vibes, you know, the vibes with Ghost Adventures is how I can describe it, is buzzing. It's nothing but excitement and pure joy. So, you know, I had a tobacco smoke with the guys and everything before we started filming, got to see Zak and everything, you know, and he told us pretty much whenever he lets you know when there's going to be an investigation or anything like that, he keeps it very minimal so he can keep the initial reactions real. He doesn't tell you everything that's kind of going on. So it's like, when I got there, all I really know is, you know, we're just going to be going to a creepy cave and I got to check out some things. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go then. So we ended up driving out there, but before that actually happened, there was a scene, the just deadly intro right here, this one.
We get to the cave, I have a friend, Shanclen. He is a Navajo traditional practitioner.
He was talking about, he was just like, yeah, we've had some experience working with the Navajo on the reservation. And he brought up that one episode where he was with this medicine woman and she had them do the thing. He's just like, yeah, we're Navajo warriors now. So then he was kind of jokingly saying that. He's just like, yeah, we're certified Navajo warriors too. After that one episode we did, he's like, you guys ready? All of them, he's like, 1, 2, 3. All of them were all. So for those of you out there, you know, like that episode wasn't, you know, but it was really funny. But that didn't make it in the episode. So we hopped in the vehicles. We made our way over to the cave and everything. And when we started making our way toward the cave, that's when I started really kind of feeling the energy coming out of that cave. And it wasn't necessarily like a huge, like cavernous kind of cave. It was more so of a broken down side of the cliff, but there was stuff inside of there, I guess you can say, was locked away inside of there, but was able to break free somehow, some way. So that's when I started feeling the energies and everything. That's when I went to sing the song of, it's not specifically Navajo, it's one of those old spiritual songs that I picked up along the way. And we put on Ish, we put on the ash that I mentioned throughout all my videos and everything. So we make our way up into the cave, and that's when I was the first one up there and started looking around and everything. And then I see this burnt pile of ash, and I was just like, oh boy, here we go. So when that ash was right there, you know, when I mean Yanagloshis or skinwalkers, sometimes they'll do remote prayers. They'll do remote, I guess you can say, witching, to where, you know, they'll get a piece of whether something that you know or something that connects you to the person. And then a lot of times they'll use hair. A lot of times they'll use clothing, or they'll use a personal item of yours. They'll go inside your house, steal it, or something like that. So that's why they always say, like, you never leave your hair lying around, or if you have like your hair you're driving, you know, don't just throw it away, because, you know, somebody can pick up that hair and witch you, and if they need to. So I was examining the fire, I was examining the ashes, and that's where I see some rosaries inside of there. And I was just like, oh shoot, is this part of the ritual and everything? That's when Jay Wasley pointed out that there's actually some fur in there, so there's an animal sacrifice that actually happened there. So mind you, this is my first time ever being there, so I was just like, okay, going down the list of Yanagloshi stuff. So check. Okay, cool. You know, so this is some witch activity was actually happening there. And so after that, the sun started to get dark really outside. And so we're just like, okay, well, he's just like, I wonder, Zak was like, this part didn't make it in the episode, but he was just like, I wonder what's inside of that cave right there. I was like, there's only one way to find out. I was like, let's go in. And then Zak and Aaron and those guys all looked at each other. They're like, oh, yeah, my back is kind of messed up. Yeah, my knee got messed up a couple seasons back and everything. I can't really do it. I was just like, he just started laughing and all that stuff, you know. But understandably, you know, it's like, I don't like going in caves either, because it's one of those things to where it's like, you don't know if it's going to collapse on you. That's one of my fears, is like getting caved in and collapsed in inside of a cave. So, yeah, and Jay was like, I'll go in with you. So That's when we make our way inside and we start making the communication and everything to with some of the spirits that were in there. Luckily, there was a spirit that was there. And so when I was speaking, I had my back toward the cave when it went in deeper. And so I was sitting there, and then I started speaking, and then Zach's like, I got a tri-field meter. Oh my God. He started freaking out. And then like they looked at it and they saw the tri-field meter, and I was like looking at Jay. I was like, Jay, are they freaking out? Like me, I kind of freaked out because like I didn't go all the way back inside of the cave, and it was getting close to winter time, so it was actually pretty cold outside. So I was not sure if there was a mountain lion, a bear, or something just coming up, and they're like freaking out. And I was like, Jay, is there something behind me? Is there something like coming crawling up? Because like I didn't want to turn too quickly, because if it's like you turn too quickly and there's a mountain lion right there and it'll freak it out, it'll jump at you, start going at you. So he's just like, no, you're good. And I was just like, okay, cool. And so so Zach started kind of getting affected and everything from it. And so because he was able to pick up on the energy, but they were standing at the entrance of the doorway of the cave. So that spirit was able to go in and out and everything. So Zach pretty much caught the energy of that. So I gave him some salt. And salt is another one of those energy boosters that we have for, at least for Navajo people. And then my tribe as well, we're the Shanclen. So Shanclen is the salt clan. So I gave that to him. And then we ended up making our way out. And so whenever, I would investigate or I start feeling a lot of energies kind of going through like that, I go have a tobacco smoke. I go have a tobacco smoke to kind of, reconnect, rebalance myself and everything. And so, and plus, for those of you who don't know, Zach has a tobacco allergy. He can't really be around tobacco smoke and all that. It kind of affects him in his lungs and everything. And so I was like, okay, well, let me just step aside. Let me go have a tobacco smoke real quick and I'll come right back. And so Zach was like, all right, Aaron, yeah, go with him real quick. So I stepped away. I was with Aaron for a little bit. And this is one thing, it was pretty funny. I was like, Aaron, you have a cigarette? He's like, yeah, I got you, bro. So he gives me a cigarette. I start smoking it. And then we just start chatting and everything while Zach and those guys are still investigating. I started asking him, I was like, hey, Aaron, I was like, I probably won't tell exactly what we talked about just for his privacy and everything, but we made some connections right there. And yeah. So as I was finishing up my smoke, Zach, he calls over. He's like, Shanclen, come back over here. So in the episode, that's where it kind of differed off, because like in the episode, it said that I never came back. I kind of just disappeared and everything. No, I ended up making my way back up there. And we investigated a little bit more. I was really looking at the exterior of the cave to see if there's any petroglyphs or any drawings up there, but we couldn't find anything. So everything kind of started to chill out. So that's when I sang the grandfather song to kind of chill everything out. If there's any lost spirits that were there, and I made a declaration to the Skinwalkers, Yenig Glow, she's in the area. If they're strong enough, come over here right now and face me one-on-one right now. But of course they didn't show up. So we're just like, okay, well, let's just head back then and then take care of the rosaries that were inside of the fire. So we gathered up the rosaries and everything, and right down below, like not too far away, there's a running water stream that was right there. So with that, I went to the running water stream and I was just like, hey, do you guys have my ash? But apparently one of the guys from the crew took my jar of ash that I had back to the vehicle. So we had to wait for him to kind of go get it, come back and everything. So I grabbed some ash and I put it on the rosaries and I dipped it into the water too. And, I prayed to the water, prayed to the rosaries and everything to be able to cleanse it out. Because when you use, even though it's a holy object, you can taint holy objects. And that's one of those things that with evil, especially with skinwalkers too, they do the reverse of a blessing. They do the reverse of those songs and everything to be able to corrupt holy objects like that. So I went in and cleansed it and all that stuff. But and then afterwards, after we cleansed it off and everything like that, we made our way back to the vehicles, and that's where we did the farewell offering and tobacco and all that stuff. So in the episode, it was funny because like they didn't include that whole part, but understandably that it didn't, I guess you can say, fit the story to be able to make it like exciting and all that stuff, to kind of make it a little bit more, I guess you can say, thrilling or suspenseful. They took out that whole part, and then they just made it seem like I walked away and I came back with tobacco. And I'm not mad about it, because honestly, there wasn't too much that actually happened in between those 2 points. So we gave tobacco offering, made our way over back to the ranch and all that stuff, and we're just chilling. And this right here is where I got to really, I guess, ask questions and just hang out and get the vibes of the crew and everything. Because when I investigated with them the first time in Disturbed in Wickenburg, I didn't get really much time to be able to speak with them. You know, we filmed and they pretty much just booked it back to their place. I was like, oh, okay. So this one, I really kind of took advantage of getting to actually know these guys. So I started asking them questions, you know, about, you know, episodes themselves, how they handle things, you know, and all these different stuff. And just like, it was honestly really awesome to be able to just, when no cameras are around, just to get to actually have conversations with these guys. And we're joking, we're laughing, having a good time and everything. And just, you know, to be able to actually understand these guys and actually get to know these guys a little bit more on a personal level outside of, you know, when we're filming. So, and also what was really cool was one of the people that lived in the area brought their son over, and then they're like, yeah, my son here is a really huge fan of yours and everything. So Zach was just like, he's just like, you wanted to get a picture? He's just like, yeah, I would love a picture. And so Zach went and took a picture. He's just like, here, you can go ahead and have this flashlight too. And Zach didn't have much on him, so he gave him his flashlight. He's like, this is a flashlight I've used for a long time. This is a Ghost Adventures flashlight. So, you know, this is one that Zak Bagans actually used. So he gave that to the little boy. His eyes lit up. He was like, thank you so much. But he was also nervous too at the same time. So I was just like, you know, behind the scenes, you know, you get to see that love and compassion and just, you know, all that stuff right there, and just them all laughing, having a good time, just chilling and all that. We had some food and everything. And, you know, it was just, honestly, I had a really good time. You know, it's just really getting to meet these guys, see their good sides and everything. And like how I said, like, I don't know these guys personally or what they'll do in the future or anything like that. But just at that time, at that moment, you know, they were genuine, they were respectful, they were, you know, pure. And that's one thing I really loved about, you know, my whole experience, and what I took away from meeting these guys a second time was just that in itself, you know. And that's after we ate, you know, they're like, all right, we're going to go ahead and start investigating. And so I was just like, did you guys need me for anything? He's just like, no, I think we're good, man. So, you know, I said my farewells and everything too, and shook their hands and all that, and parted ways. So everything that happened after my scene, I don't really know what happened. Well, of course, everything I showed on the episode, but, you know, that's from that moment on, I went back to my hotel, I slept, and I left the next morning. And so the next morning, I ran into Jeff Conkle over at the outside and everything. I was having a smoke, and I was like, dude, how was last night? He's like, bro, I wish you were there, man. I was just like, no. I really wish I was there and everything, but, you know, it's one of those things. It's just like, okay, well, you know, I came, I investigated, yeah, hung out with them and all that stuff, but it came out pretty good. And they caught some really interesting stuff and all that, those things, and Jay ended up getting affected and all that. So, you know, it's one of those things where, like, would I go back out there again and investigate with Zach and those guys? Hell yeah. You know, those guys, I mean, like, from my impressions from when I've met them and to where it is now, and how respectful and genuine, and honestly, it's a good vibe to be around and everything. And yes, it's a TV show, everybody. You got to understand that, like, sometimes you go to locations and everything, and then you don't really capture much. So to be able to have ratings, maybe you have to, and I can't say for sure, but you have to do some things to make it interesting. So yeah, but understandably, it's a TV show, everyone. So just remember that. But it was honestly really fun to be able to see them again, hang out with them again, and just the opportunity to be on Ghost Adventures. Like how I said, like I watched Ghost Adventures ever since they started, and to be able to meet him, you know, it would have been cooler to meet him in his prime and all that stuff when they investigated, but they didn't really do the style of investigating they did back then as how they do now, as far as for bringing people on, interviewing, and doing a little bit of investigating. That's kind of fairly new in the later seasons. So yeah, my experience with Ghost Adventures and filming them was a positive one. I had a good time, a lot of fun and everything, and just one of those things to where, like, it's an awesome tale I get to show future kids, grandkids, you know, people that come up and meet me and all that stuff, and getting a lot of followers from it too. You know, a lot of you new subscribers out there from Colin or Ghost Adventures and everything. So welcome to my channel, everybody. You know, I'm excited to see what Zach does in the future and everything. And he's just like, if anything ever comes up, I'll call you up again. I was like, cool. Hell yeah, man. You have my number, so go ahead and call me. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. You know, it's pretty astonishing that they've gone this many seasons and still going strong, man. It's pretty crazy, but he's got a formula and he's got it down, man. So good luck to Zach and the crew. You know, you guys be safe out there. Everyone behind the scenes as well. It's awesome to see you guys again. You guys be safe out there. So some channel announcements for me. I have purchased some items from my store, a merch store. So these are some of the stickers, test samples that are coming in. And actually, I got some t-shirts that are coming in too to be able to test out the quality, see how it is and all that. So you guys stay tuned for that. The merch store is almost done. Once I'm able to see the quality of the t-shirts and the merch and everything, then I'll be able to show you guys, take some pictures and everything, and be like, okay, certified, good. You know, it'll be good for you guys to purchase and everything. So I'm excited for that. I'm really hyped because this is me. I've done this all by myself. You know, designing all this stuff, worked really hard on it. It's honestly really cool to just be able to just hold items that I created and everything, and all that. It's just all honestly really awesome and stuff like that. So I know a lot of you people out there have been asking about the merch. So it's coming, everybody. Just give me a little bit more time to be able to make sure it's all good and everything. But I also have some new announcements that's going to be coming up pretty soon, some changes to the page and all that stuff that I've been working on in the background, but I'm not ready to announce it yet. So stay tuned, everybody. If you guys aren't a member yet, be sure to become a member, and you guys get some exclusive perks, early access to videos, membership only videos, live streams as well. Some of those we have out there, as well as discounts on the upcoming merch store coming up right now. So you guys stay tuned for all that. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to all the new subscribers that are out there. I'm excited to be able to bring you some more spooky content, as well as some of my production work in the future as well. So you guys stay tuned. You guys have a great morning, evening, afternoon. You guys stay safe out there, and you guys have a good evening, night, morning, afternoon. I said that twice, but yeah, you guys take care. I'll go on it. And I spilled the aniseeds. The bird's eye. New episode, new me. New me, new episode. Ghost Adventures, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Adventures. Welcome back to another... God, man. Come check out this video. I think you're gonna... So if you would like to know the truth of... what it's like... Welcome back to another episode of Shanclen Shadow Productions. Now...